So let me raise that big question. Should the tricolor be only in Khadi? Why is there a need for a polyester tricolor? Or is this much ado about nothing? Ahead of the 75th Independence Day, should we be amending the country's flag code in the way it has? Tuhin, Sinha, the BJP spokesperson, is with us, and Tushar Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi's great-grandson, is with us. Let me come to you, Tushar, first. Why are you how do you see it first? Do you believe that the government has every right to amend the flag code to allow the flag to be made in polyester so that many more people can actually put up the flag outside their house in the lead up to August 15th? Polyester is cheaper than Khadi.
See, if it was just a matter of giving the access to the flag to many more people, there was another way to do it also. The government could reinstate the subsidy on Khadi, subsidize hand-produced, hand-woven, hand-spun the cottage industry, and ensure that the flag was sold at a very subsidized price, and it could have served their purpose, and it could have retained the Khadi industry and kept it thriving, at least in the production of the tricolor. This is not about making the tricolor cheap. This is about the bigger agenda of rewriting history. And this is also a part of trying to sabotage the history of the freedom movement, the Satyagraha movement. And Khadi is very closely associated with that. And so, you know, remove as many symbols of Khadi and its existence as possible so that the new history can be sold off in a much easier way. This is the agenda behind it. It's not making the flag more accessible to homes. It is about brainwashing minds.
You're telling me that you believe that allowing Khadi to be made of polyester, not of allowing the flag to be made of polyester, not of Khadi, is part of rewriting the politics of the pre-independence movement?
Absolutely. These people work on a very grand scale on everything, and they do it in a very systematic manner. And this is one more step in rewriting or erasing the uncomfortable history where they don't feature at all.
You want to respond to that, Tuhin, Sinha? You know, there are here is Mahatma Gandhi's great-grandson, and there are others too, Khadi activists, who are saying this will be the last nail in the coffin of handmade products and household industry. There is a reason why Khadi was mandated for the national flag. The national flag is a symbol of our freedom and sovereignty. The Khadi symbolizes that. Symbolizes the freedom struggle. You want to respond?
Rajdeep, if these allegations were made by Rahul Gandhi, I could, pretty much understand his limitations of understanding issues, but I'm very surprised that of all people, Mr. Tushar Gandhi is making these allegations. You need to understand that in the Congress era, beyond a superficial espousal, the Gandhi symbolisms, be it Swachh Bharat or be it espousal of Khadi, they couldn't transcend a rather superficial espousal. In the last 8 years, the Khadi industry has grown by nearly 200%. In the financial year 2021-22 itself, the total turnover of KVIC was 1,15,000 crores, which is the highest for any FMCG industry, any FMCG company in the country. So are we trying to kill Khadi? What are these allegations? Number two, the only reason why the flag code has been amended to include polyester, silk and a couple of other cloth material also is to ensure that every Har Ghar Tiranga campaign would probably ensure that every house would have a Tiranga in the next few weeks. It wouldn't be a beautiful sight if your house, if Mr. Gandhi's house, my house would have a Tiranga flying 24/7. That would in all likelihood mean that some 20 crore new flags would be procured. We are only making the procurement easy for everybody in the country.
So you're saying it would be more accessible. So you dismiss the charge that the procurement will take place from China, because there are Karnataka Khadi Gram Udyog Sangha, which runs the sole approved flag making unit, which says it is not just a flag that will be affected but the whole of the Khadi sector. So it's not just Tushar Gandhi, it's those who work in the Khadi sector who are worried that you will now import polyester flags from China and then parade it har ghar tiranga.
No, no, it's very simple. If you do the mathematics, the exponential increase in the demand for these flags would not impact the existing setup at all. That is what they need to realize. And that is why I'm very surprised. If these allegations were made by the Congress party, I could pretty much understand their desperation. But the exponential increase in the number of flags that would be procured over the next few weeks and possibly, for the entire year, starting 15th August this year, would make it necessary for us to make alternative avenues of procurement available to the common man. Why should the common man's need to have a flag be dependent upon the availability of a flag in a certain cloth material? It should be the emotion which matters over here, and that is what we are concerned about.
Okay, that's a good point. The emotions matter more than the fabric of the flag, Mr. Tushar Gandhi. So what if it is polyester? As long as millions of more Indians are able to parade the flag in the lead up to August 15, that should be enough. Are you seeing conspiracy theories where none exist?
I have been buying flags on Independence Day and Republic Day from my childhood, from traffic signals made of paper, made of plastic. If I want to fly a flag, if I have the emotion to fly a flag, I am not hampered by its inavailability. So we don't make puerile excuses. I know it is your political necessity, but don't make puerile excuses like this. The flag is accessible to those who want it sincere.
No, but the question is, the question, Mr. Gandhi, is the emotions matter more than the fabric.
Emotion is attached with the fabric because the fabric is identified with our freedom movement. It is always been known as the fabric of our freedom. If you want to negate it, fine. You have a brute majority. You can do whatever you like. As it is, there are dictatorial things happening in this country. It can keep happening. We are in a minority. We can't say anything. And the Janta's voice doesn't matter to Delhi at all. But okay, let a Chinese-made flag fly over Red Fort on 15th August and show your patriotism.
Let a Chinese-made flag fly over the Red Fort. Tuhin Sinha, in conclusion, there's a sense that these decisions are not taken without some kind of consensus being built. They're taken without really involving perhaps people who are in the field, who are Khadi activists, because they are the ones, not just Tushar Gandhi here. Khadi activists have come out strongly and said this is not what they would like to see.
Rajdeep, if you look at, let me address the core issues over here. If you go to a school today, even today's students, if you ask 14 and 15-year-olds whether they know what each of the color in the national flag stands for, a lot of them would probably not know. If you ask them who designed the national flag, they would not know. We are trying to address that by mass espousal. And I am simply trying to explain to you the mathematics. The procurement of that many more flags would make it more easily accessible. Again, in as much as I don't want to use that word, the puerile allegations, accusations being made by Mr. Tushar Gandhi, does he follow the statistics and the data of the Khadi industry in the last 7 years, how it has grown? Would it grow without the support and without the direct direction provided by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi? We are extremely passionate about...
Let him complete. Yeah, go ahead, Tuhin.
We are extremely passionate about the espousal of Khadi, and I've given you the figures. 176% increase in the production of Khadi in the last 8 years, 248% increase in gross sales. And these are not figures that are fresh. He can go to the KYC and find out the balance sheets himself. So how is the espousal of Khadi increasing when we are anti-Khadi?
Therefore,
these allegations...
Okay, let me give a final word to you, Mr. Gandhi, because in a sense, yes, I've gone through those figures that Tuhin has put out, and those are in the public domain. It's not as if, in that sense, Khadi has taken the backseat in terms of production. It has actually, the KVIC profits have increased. Given that, why allege conspiracies? What makes you so convinced that this is part of some giant conspiracy?
Because there is a giant conspiracy and nobody can deny it. There is well-oiled machinery that is trying to rewrite history. And all these are steps in that direction. Please, I may be puerile, I may be brainwashed, I don't mind, but I know one thing, I know the truth and I can identify the truth. And 15 years down the line, just to answer the question that the students who don't know the meaning of the colors and the designer of the flags. What they are doing now is 15 years down the line, children will say, yes, the Indian tricolor is made in China.
Okay, that's the third time you said that the Indian tricolor will be made in China. We'll wait and see whether those polyester flags come in from China or whether they are actually homemade. Either way,
can I ask one question to him?
Yes, very quickly, Mr. Sinha.
I would have really appreciated these allegations by Mr. Gandhi if he had once questioned the Congress government before 2014 why only 39% sanitation cover was provided in the country when Gandhiji was most passionate about Swachh Bharat. I would have appreciated these allegations if he had, questioned the previous Congress government why border roads were not built over a period of time. Do you have? I don't have the data right now, but again, if you go at the border roads
we are now
data,
moving into we are now changing the goalposts. We focused on the flag. Let's leave it at that. We will test it in the next month. We'll see where the flags come from, whether they are homemade or made in China. Thanks both Tuhin Sinha, Tushar Gandhi for joining me here on the News Today.